let's talk about the Andrew Dominik film Blonde, which now that it's honestly had some time to settle, that's right, it's been given a good 10 months since its release. I want to talk about the movie very briefly, kind of break down what I did like, what I didn't like about it. Honestly, it's very funny to me that I saw a review of this, saying that, oh, this is something Sam Levinson would like. That is a perfect way to sum it up. And now that we have The Idol, I think it's going to be perfectly telling what Blonde is. Like, The Idol was just released, and it was really nothing. Like, in my opinion, I saw it, I watched the first episode. The whole first episode really said nothing. Like, a girl had something on her face, and they spent 20 minutes talking about that. And then the next 40 minutes was like some really nice shots. The Weeknd was in it as a club owner. But my point is, there is now this, even with Babylon, guys, there's this sense of style over substance, and it's very obvious. Like, I really much enjoyed Babylon for its first hour. I thought it was so fun to watch, very well paced. But after it ended, I really didn't think it said much that a lot of other movies had, said before. It was saying, oh, when the movies changed, and oh, actors, well, when they aren't famous anymore, they get depressed. Like, oh, okay, but do you have anything else to say? And I think the answer was no, and I think the answer with Blonde is there really isn't a story to tell. Now, I'm not the person, honestly, who was, like, there is, you look at me. I mean, I'm just saying, like, there's clearly people who are going to be, like, fucking furious that Blonde was released. They're going to be like, how could you make this movie about Marilyn? Ah! But, like, in my opinion, honestly, I see what Andrew Dominik was doing. It's the Sam Levinson effect. It's that, ooh, a pretty blonde girl, let's fucking murder and destroy and abuse and torture her and make it a film, and it's beautiful because it's, art, and it's tragic. I get what he's doing, and I see it, and it's very obvious. It's a 2-hour, 49-minute movie where the aspect ratio is changing every second, even more so than Transformers The Last Night. And it's going from black and white to color to black and white. It's funny because we're about to have Oppenheimer do that. I wonder if Christopher Nolan saw Blonde and he was like, you fucking dick, Andrew. Because the director, Andrew Dominik, hey, we have the same last name. No, but Andrew Dominik, I really do respect and appreciate this guy's vision for his other works. The Assassination of Jesse James by the Coward Robert Ford, obvious that the guy loves these pretentious names. I mean, not that Blonde is, it's completely different, but he hasn't made a movie in like 10 years since Killing Them Softly. He's made a couple documentaries about Nick Cave, which is interesting because he has Nick Cave doing the music for Blonde. Music is great, by the way. Excellent score. Cinematography is excellent. It technically looks amazing. I mean, really, Blonde. Here's the thing. It's a bit like Joker, and I'm not even kidding. More so than The Whale, because The Whale I just hated all throughout. But it has some good stylish stuff going on, and it can be like, I don't want to say it's entertaining, but it's paced in a way that kept me interested, at least. But then when you think about what it has to say, you're like, well, it really has nothing to say. It's really just a movie about how Marilyn Monroe suffered and was abused by men. And are there any redeeming qualities? No. We see her, in Some Like It Hot. We see her performing Diamonds Are a Man's Best Friend in Gentlemen Prefer Blondes, but, like, there is nothing it's actually saying about her. Here's the truth of it. It's foregoing the route of a traditional biopic. I honestly don't mind that. Like, in any movie, like, look at Elvis, guys. I hated Elvis because the whole movie was just, here's a scene from his life, here's a scene from his life, here's a scene from his life, and it's just, like, so annoying. And the way that they spew the cliches out, it's like they're doing it on purpose. Like, you have him literally, like, crying in his mom's dress, and then Tom Hanks is, like, delivering the most obvious on-the-nose exposition, like, we have to take you further, my boy. But Blonde, it's funny because it's kind of doing this a bit, but, like, in an art way, where it's just showing Marilyn's life. Like, it's a biopic. It's trying to talk about her, but at the same time, it's really struggling to actually be, like, honest. That's the thing. If you don't know the story about Blonde, this is not based on Marilyn Monroe's life. It's based on a book written by someone named Joyce Carol Oates, an author who created this fictional take on Marilyn's life, I guess just summarizing what could have happened to her. I mean, that's the thing about this movie that's so glaringly obvious and what a lot of people are talking about. It's not 100% accurate. Nothing in this film can be, like, confirmed to have actually happened. And of course, there is the idea that she was abused. She died young of a drug overdose. And the idea is that Marilyn Monroe is being exploited because we're just using her to tell this tragic story of, a lot of people were referencing Fire Walk with Me, like a woman, just a woman in trouble. That's the David Lynch idea. This film is very Lynchian, very surreal. That's why, I'm not sitting here like, fuck this movie. Because honestly, I do like surreal movies. I like films that are strange. So my review for it simply is I enjoyed what Dominic wanted to do, but I completely can understand completely how people would be upset with the movie, because you are just taking a person and you're basing your surreal David Lynch-esque fantasy movie about, ooh, what happens if, this woman is in this nightmare scenario and then she's talking like a dead baby. And they do some really annoying stuff where she like suffers and the suffering feels like it's very forced. But like, listen to me when I'd say I did like some of the artistic choices. The opening I loved, like where she's driving through the fire to her house. I feel like there's a lot of good ideas in here. I just feel like the execution overall could have been a little strange, and I understand the hate. But at the same time, there's way worse movies. This is not The Killing of Sharon Tate or that fucking awful movie directed by that Daniel whatever Fair, that movie about Sharon. Like, this is trying to be something. I'm not sure exactly what it really is or wants to be, but I did enjoy it. I enjoyed the styling. I enjoyed the pacing. I enjoyed the casting. Even Ana de Armas, it's the craziest Oscar nomination ever that she actually was nominated for an Oscar for this, especially because the movie got hated so much. But I really enjoyed almost everything about it, like in terms of its, just the style of it. And like I said, I honestly think I'm going to remember it a little more than Babylon, which was a little too bland for my taste. Like, Babylon is fun, but a little more like milquetoast when you compare it to, I mean, Babylon, don't get me wrong, they're trying to do so much. They're actually kind of similar, but Blonde is much more like the edgy, hardcore, oh, look at me, I'm Andrew Dominic, I'm going to make some movie about Marilyn's suffering. But anyway, let me know what you guys thought of Blonde, if you liked it, if you didn't. Thank you for watching. Take it easy.